everyone. Welcome back to my podcast. My name is Angela Chivende, and this is Stories for Kids. In today's episode, we have our very first guest. Hi, Sam. Please introduce yourself.
Alrighty. So hello, my name is Sam Mitchell, and I run the podcast Autism Rocks and Rolls. And it is a podcast about autism and how we cope with daily struggles that you may or may not understand. I've ran it since October 2019. I'm nearing 15K downloads. I've had some big guests on my show, like Dr. Grandin and professional wrestler Mick Foley, along with many other amazing guests. But through the nonprofit, it has grown so much into a nonprofit 501c3 with a board of 8. I get to do international speaking. I've spoken in Oklahoma and Orlando in Canada and Washington, D.C.
Thank you so much. So, you're welcome to my podcast. In today's episode, I have a few questions for you. So, the first one, how old were you when you were diagnosed with autism?
Diagnosed at 4 years old. I hated loud fireworks, and I basically was not the most socializing child alive. I'd rather be in a corner by myself. And instead of playing with toys, I'd organize them and do some smart things I shouldn't be doing at that certain age.
Okay. I understand that so many people have little to no knowledge about autism. How can we ensure we get the word out for more people to actually understand what the spectrum is all about?
You need to get people to understand it by saying that there's some behaviors that we cannot help. I mean, the fact that I have a sensory meltdown, an example, I don't do them anymore, but when I did have a sensory meltdown because the loud Walmart buzzers would go off, yeah, that's a whole different ball game compared to a child temper tantrum not getting a teddy bear at Walmart. Or the fact that we don't do plan Bs. You have to work with us. We may not be willing to work with you some days, but you still need to work with us some days. We'll do our best to work with you, but I don't know if it's going to happen all the time.
Okay. Do you think religion has kept some people from accepting their diagnosis?
Do I think what now?
Religion.
Religion? I mean, there could be some of that. I mean, I haven't heard much of it. I mean, I heard one religion says autism is possessed by demons, which is inaccurate in my opinion. You can put all the studies you want, you can change my mind on that.
Okay. Who's your biggest support system? And what would you say is the best thing they have done for you since your diagnosis?
My biggest support system is my family. They've always had my back and they were supporting me no matter what I would have done. I mean, I clearly couldn't be illegal. You can do whatever you want, but whatever you do, there's a consequence. So you could do something illegal. We would not support that. But if you're doing something legal and you're not getting hurt and you're following your dreams, go for it. I'll do whatever you need me to do, my friend. That was their mindset.
Wow. What's your advice for parents who are just finding out about their kids' diagnosis?
Well, I think that's how you have to ask a question. That's a question for my mother. You have to give her a text because that I can only answer for myself. When I was younger, I don't remember much, and I was 4 years old. So at 4 years old, you kind of have your head up a certain body part. We'll just say that, and you're not paying attention. So
Okay. Okay. Okay, so I heard a lot of people say boys are more prone to having autism than girls. Is it true?
yes, that is 100% true. But the reason being, it's mainly diagnosed in boys because it's easier to tell. With women, it's a lot harder to tell because they don't get diagnosed often, A, but B, it's more common in boys, and boys will exhibit more of that behavior. Women will tend to hide in the shell and not show the behavior of autism.
Okay. Some children are nonverbal and they hardly do anything for themselves. So how can a parent, okay, I know maybe this question would be best for your mom, but what did your support system do to actually figure out what exactly you are good at?
Well, they did what now? I'm sorry.
Okay, let's say some children are nonverbal, right? And
Right.
then it's so difficult to find out what really, what they are good at, and how best you can help them. So what kind of technique, or is there a technique, or is there something that parents can do to spot out maybe some talent, or just one particular thing that their child is actually good at?
Well, whatever I can answer this. My mom has a different answer than me, but my personal opinion, what parents can do, and this is what's worked for me, is what my parents did: get them involved and start them early. I'm a firm believer in that. And they're finding they like to take down cars at 12. You can't make them a full-time car repairman, clearly, but you can make them help around and take apart the car. I don't see a problem with that, or do something with it, getting the people the supplies, or maybe having them take down the front bumper. I mean, there's a portion they can do of it. So starting early is one belief, but the second part is getting them involved, showing them new things in the world. I mean, we come out of the womb not knowing anything. We think we do, but we don't. And we create our character around 8 years old, but at that early age, show them stuff. Get them involved with activities, clubs. They might find their passion at that time frame. Or if they don't, then find something that you guys have at share interest. I mean, I found my passion through a club. It could be the same with you, but it may not be. It may be through hanging out with buddies. It might be getting invited from a fishing trip. Who knows? Who knows what it might be? But just finding that way to get them involved is the key part.
Okay, thank you. In this part of my world, there are so many people that don't really know about autism. So you find out that most people think maybe it's something that prayer can cure, or maybe something that children will outgrow. So for them to actually know what autism actually is, are there any tools, any books, anything that can help them?
Yes, actually, you can probably find online. I mean, there's a lot of things you can find online. I mean, there's books about autism. There's books about anger management. So autism certain behaviors. I have one. If you hold on for 5 seconds, I can go grab that book and show it. Want me to
Okay,
do that? The
yes.
book I was read, I was told I had autism through this book right here.
Okay,
It's called Understanding Sam. It's a children's book, kind of a nonfiction book, and it's wasn't the most popular book, but it worked for me. So
okay. Can I find it online?
can you find it online? Yeah. You can probably find it on Amazon, or it's probably somewhere.
Okay, I think it could be one of the books that I read on my podcast.
Could be. You just got to find where it is. It might be on ebook too, or Kindle. I
Okay,
mean,
thank you.
you're welcome. Somewhere.
I'll try. Understanding Sam, right?
Yep, Understanding Sam and Asperger's syndrome. But Understanding Sam's the main title. So probably Understanding Sam, you're good to go.
Okay, thank you. And the last question is there anything else you'd like to add that has not been highlighted on the questions above?
Well, I mean, the fact that I believe in success for all shapes and sizes, as I did form it. So I don't care what you look like or how you think. There's still a successful path for you down the road, whatever the case might be.
Thank you. It's over. Okay, I want.
Awesome. Well, thank you for letting me come on. I had a blast for the listeners, and it was wonderful. I'm honored to be a part of the show and be a first guest, may I add.
Yes. Thank you. Have a good night.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye-bye.
Okay, so
Okay.
I want to ask a few more questions that are not part of the stuff that I've written. How has it been growing up with
Uh,
the diagnosis?
it's growing up, it was, it was a challenge some days. There were a lot of hard days you can imagine where I wanted to punch walls and did at young age. But I mean, there's some great days where you think they did this, they can recite the alphabet backwards in a minute, and that, or they know the order of eliminations through a TV show. Are you kidding me? They love this cartoon and they're going to become a cartoon creator. I mean, there's a lot of great ways that autism can be beneficial that society doesn't see. Okay, this is productive. That's the issue. The society needs to see that some of these quirks we have are making our lives productive. And we're trying to live the dream. And in America, at least, we have the dream of getting a job, having our house, and having the necessities in life, which is food, shelter, bed. If you can do those three things, I mean, the marriage and the pets, those are extra, in my opinion. But those three, if they can do it while having these unique stimulus behaviors, who
Okay.
cares?
What about school?
Schools,
How's school been?
school is can be nice to you and it can be not the nicest to you. I mean, for my school, the best, I think I'm biased. The school I went to, I think, has the best special education program because
Okay.
I went to it A and B. I felt safe there in general with the academic side. So the teachers were amazing. They knew what to do. But the students, no. I got jabbed in the back with pencils one time for absolutely doing nothing. And I've also, I mean, I haven't gotten pushed down the stairs, which I'm surprised at, but I got excluded a lot, and you can't send a kid to the office for excluding. So it was kind of easy behind your back bullying almost. It wasn't like the pushing or you get food thrown on your face. It was just, I'm not talking to you. Get away from me.
Okay, that's kind of lonely, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it was very, very lonely. But thankfully I had people. But the sad part is when I wasn't with him, I just didn't feel safe with the classroom. I mean, all I really want to do was just stand by that teacher. I mean, I know it's kind of odd, but that's all I really wanted to do. I don't like working with, and that was another issue too. More thing, I didn't like working with people, and I still don't. Even though I have a board of 8, I'd rather work alone, just because of me learning it and getting it done. It would be a lot easier that with the anxiety. I don't have to deal with that. However, I'm better at that, but I did not like working with people at school. I'd rather prefer doing it alone and working with the teacher who's because I'd be accepted versus someone who, if I had a project, heck, if I said, oh, we should do it this way, they'd be like, no, because weren't open to try it. With the teacher, they would be open.
Okay. Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, what are some of your triggers?
Well, the triggers are okay. So right now I have clothes on clearly, but this shirt was wet. It'd be coming off because I can't do a wet t-shirt. No, 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 no. I mean, I don't know how people wear. I mean, I don't know if you got your clothes wet. I don't know how you'd be able to like go in the next day and wear your shirt because it's a pinchy feeling. It pinches your skin. I'm like, how do people do this? Because I cannot do it. That is torture.
So it looks like you don't like the rain.
No, I don't like the rain. I'm a sunny heat boy, like it to be 78, sunshine, bacon hot, and I don't like the cold either. Hate the cold. Hate that. That's something my father and I have in common. We're not a lot alike in many ways. We definitely have a good relationship. I'm not saying, oh, my father stinks now, but we don't have a lot in common. I think. Well, we do have some stuff. We have some stuff in common. But one thing I think we have in common is we both hate cold weather.
Okay.
We hate
So
it to a
you're a
T.
sunny guy.
Yep, sunny, pool, pina colada, anything involving summer, love it.
Wow. You must love the beach then. The
Uh,
sand.
yeah, I like if it's a good beach because there's some beaches where you get trash all over the place, and the water it's lake water, right? It's a lake beach. If
Okay.
you that's what you want to call it. But a nice beach with sand and it's ocean water, yeah, I like those.
Okay. Whenever, if you're not recording, what else do you do? Do you read? Um, and then let's say, okay, let me start with school. When you're on your school days, what do you like most? Are you good with numbers? Are you good with words? Is it colors?
I
What do you
gotcha.
enjoy?
Okay. Well, the thing is, I graduated from high school, so I'm in college right now.
Okay.
But I'm still in school. But what I can give you is, if it involves numbers, no. I'm the word guy, English, social studies brain, no math, science, numbers going here. I was probably the worst student at math. The teachers were probably thinking, why are you in math A? You need to be in math D if that's existing. But they put me in algebra B because I'm a slow person when it comes to math, and you got to give me time. Can't just be a track where it's just, okay, learn this, boom, next day, okay, learn this, boom. It's like, no, we need to take the notes, get the information, and review this math for maybe a week.
Okay, that's fair. At least you're very good in one part, and that's actually common for a lot of people.
Yeah, I know that too. I mean, but there were thankfully I had a couple of teachers that were able to get me through the math.
Nice.
So
That's the best part about having a good support system.
yeah, they're definitely a part of my support system today. Still, I definitely consider them a humongous part of my support system.
That's nice. What else do I want to ask? Is it easy for you to make friends?
No. I
No.
mean, yes and no. Probably it's not easy, but the odd thing is most of my friends are on the spectrum because I guess we relate a lot. But once I get in the right mindset and the right bubble, okay, but starting a conversation and exiting a conversation, they don't match. And I have peers who know my autism. I probably mentioned a lot anyway and share it overratedly. But my point here is that they understand it. However, when it's starting new, I try to not keep it secret, but I just don't think it's anyone's business at that time frame. But I have buddies who I've known for over a year, 2 years, and once I get past like the okay, I know you're my friend phase, I know you're in. Like, and it's an issue with friendships too, because they have these things called acquaintances. No, I don't do that. You're either in or you're out.
Okay. That's fair. That's okay. Um, there are some people that, let's say, if they find out you're autistic, they might actually feel sorry for you. What do you think about it?
You know, their heart's in the right mindset and the right not the right mindset, sorry. Their heart's in the right place, but that's the issue at the same time. They're being the problem, but not intentionally. Because of the society, when you hear autism, it's negative. Well, my mission is to take that stigma off of autism to show that there is no penis and it needs to be no fixing us. There's nothing to be sorry about.
Okay. I think a lot of people actually really need to understand this because there's a lot of that's offensive. Don't do that on. Don't talk to the person like that. And I think it makes one feel like they're really not no more and everybody is walking on eggshells where you're supposed to be treated the way everybody else is treated, but understanding that okay, he's on the spectrum, but he needs to be treated like a normal human being.
Exactly. That's the way I am. I mean, but that's the same thing with anyone, too. I don't care if you got Down syndrome. Where are you from? There's a reason why I'm saying this.
I'm from Zambia, Africa.
Zambia? Okay, cool. I don't care if you're from Zambia, Africa. I don't care if you have purple skin, Down syndrome, a lazy eye, whatever you got. I ain't gonna judge you for it. I mean, I judge what's in here, not out there.
That's good. That's how it's supposed to be, actually.
Yeah, if only people could be like that more often.
Do you have siblings, brothers?
Oh, no, I no, and I'd kill people if I did. It's funny. At first, I've always wanted a brother or sister to play with, but as I go along, I'd be like, all right, no, this ain't gonna work because at the end of the day, I'm kind of I don't want to say spoiled, but self-absorbed and just I don't like working with people. It comes back to that, and we have to do a lot of
Okay.
sharing. And as a young child, I hated sharing. So, and I now today I love sharing, but as a young child, hated it. So it probably wouldn't work out the best. Probably gained a lot of more timeouts than I did as a child.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, this is, oh, you've been alone for a long time and you like your personal space. That's
Yeah, but I
nice.
don't mind to socialize. I mean, so my family, so I have one person who is a people person. I have another family member that is not a people person, but well, he is a people person, but he just doesn't like big crowds, and he's kind of picky on when he socializes. Mine,
Okay.
I'm in the middle. I like to socialize, but I also like to be in my personal space. Like if it was up to me right now, I'd probably be in the dark, as what you would call it. But I know how to handle myself in the light and in the light where there's people around. But if I need my personal space to be in the dark, you better give that to me.
Okay. And what gave you the idea of starting your own podcast?
Well, it started. I joined my high school's media club and I fell in love with it. And ever since I loved it so much, I decided to start my own podcast. And that was when Autism Rocks and Rolls was born. It was after I saw that media club. I was like, I'm in love with this. And it clicked. That was the best part, too. It clicked. And I was actually good at something for once.
That's good. That's really nice. At least you get to tell your story, right?
Some stories. I mean, there's a lot of certain behaviors. So, I mean, I have other people come on the show and tell stories. Sometimes I'll compare something to autism, or I'll tear my behavior. I'll tell a behavior that I struggled with, like the anxiety, the fact that the sensory issues are there, the part of anger. I mean, I have some anger issues. I mean, they're not the worst anger issues alive, but would consider myself sometimes a hothead. I mean, just part of who I am. I can't help it. Believe me, I've tried that. And let's see. Oh, I know this is probably relevant for kids. Table manners, because a lot of young kids on the spectrum are not the best with table manners.
Oh yeah. And about anger, what calms you down?
The anger, what calms me down is it's funny that it does, but there's a good explanation. Rock and roll music, and the reason being why is you hear people scream, you hear yelling and anger, and in your eyes, in my opinion, once you hear that or the loud noises of the drums and the guitars together, it's like the demons almost coming, and you can let out the anger, and then it's gone.
Wow, it's better that way. At least you don't take it out on other people.
Oh yeah, and I do my best not to, but I like I said, that comes back to me being personal space where I want to be in the dark. If I need to be in the dark, give me that.
Okay. So I mentioned earlier, I have a nephew that has autism. He's on the spectrum right now. And he's nonverbal and he's usually very aggressive. Sometimes he's angry. Sometimes he's very active. He's very active, very hyperactive, and something like that. I don't know if this is a question for you or a question for your mom. What what do you think would be the best way to keep him grounded, like to keep him calm, or any toys, colors? I don't know.
Oh boy, well, that's hard for me with anger. Well, I'll tell you this: can't give you a solution on that because I've not been verbal, and
Okay.
she probably be able to because of me being verbal, and I can tell you, like, I'm so angry, get the heck away from me. And we came up with solutions. But what I can tell you is the reason why your nephew is getting angry is he can't communicate. I mean, being non-speaking with autism is hard because you cannot say I'm so angry and they need to express it. And the way they express it is by being aggressive and touching walls. So I'm not trying to excuse the anger, so don't get me wrong, but I just want you to remember that and be like, okay, why is he angry? And it's hard, and it's part of your job not to solve the problem to say, but there might be something else he can do to where he can communicate it. You can ask him questions like, are you mad that the chair broke? I mean, he could point at tissue box, and that can be a sign like, oh, he needs a tissue.
Okay. Thank you.
So I mean, that might help, but that's the best I can think of.
We'll start from there. At least we'll start from somewhere.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the time. At least now I've gotten a deeper understanding than the first questions that I asked you. So this is better for me.
Yeah, and like that what I said earlier, that was just advice. I mean, there's been a lot of interviews that I've done that and I start picking up from that. So
It's the first one. I need to learn.
Yeah.
I need to
And I,
learn.
I have interviews too. I mean, you're more than happy to use my podcast as a source with interviews if you need to ever watch an interview.
Okay. Thank you
And hey,
so much.
something else I do might be kind of hard with being in different foreign countries with pain wise, but I do offer podcast coaching sessions.
You know, this time is actually the best for me because my kids are asleep.
I get you, but hey, I mean,
So,
I'm willing to do it. Just that that's how I kind of make the money.
okay, no problem. Just tell me, you can email me your fees and everything so that I should get ready
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, we could. I was totally fine with this time. I was just saying,